Hi, time for a little bit of Advent catch-up because I am running behind here. It's just, I'm so pleased it's only 12 days of Christmas. Otherwise, I would have never kept up. But we do need to move on to our next one. I have some little parcels here, make the right one up. We are moving on to number 4. Now, I have a little Christmas decoration in mind for this one. So hopefully, I don't know what the wool is. So obviously when we open it, I'll find out and confirm whether that's going to be what I'm going to make. And you'll have seen in the thumbnail anyway what we're going to make. I'm trying to make these super quick makes. So it's something you can use with a bit of leftover yarn. You don't have to do it in 4-ply. The cat is back. Oh dear, I don't know what's up with her today. She's normally quite good. She'll normally just settle down in my room and go to sleep, or she goes and sleeps on our bed. But no, she's decided she's joining me today, aren't you? Yes, little monkey. So we're going to go top down and have a look at this gorgeous yarn, which is from, as you know, Fairy Realms Yarns. Absolutely gorgeous. Link below so you can have a look. If you're enjoying my videos, please like, subscribe and share. And you might see Pippi on the odd one. Actually seems to be joining in. I'm going to try, well, I don't know if she'll let me. I know she's gone over there now. I was going to try and pick her up so she could have a look at you. What you doing? She's patting at me now. So I will see you in a second, top down, and we'll have a look what I've got in this one. So see you in a second. So here we are with number 4 of my 12 days of Christmas Advent, which is getting spread out rather strangely, but I hope you're going to stick with me while we have a little look at it. So it is day 4. Oh, and day 4's got a little extra. Where's my scissors? They're over here. I've got to be careful when I'm cutting them though, because obviously I do know there's yarn in there, so I don't want to go cutting through anything, do I? So we're going to have a look what's in here. Now, I have a couple of ideas, and I thought I knew what I was going to do, but I'm looking at something on my desk now, and I'm contemplating doing something different. I don't know. I'm terrible for changing my mind, but I might do something. I will show you actually. I have this little mouse ornament. Now, I've seen these about, and they have like knitting needles and knitting sections, and I've been looking and I was moaning that none of them had crochet. So I'm like, I'll buy a plain little mouse and add some details in crochet. Now the little mouse, although saying that, I've noticed Christmas decorations are getting hard to get by, but I've got another one of these from last year as well. I thought, well, you know, crochet some details, put a little scarf on, give her a little crochet granny square, and maybe I do need to make a tiny little hook if I'm going to do that, and sort of let her hold it so I can have one on the tree that's actually got crochet. So I'm not saying she's going to be for this one because I'm not sure what colourings I've got here, but I might do this as one of the projects. So if you've got a little mouse like this and you want to do them up, pop a scarf on them or anything like that, I think it'd be really cute. So I'm looking forward to having a go at that. So let's get into number 4 then. Let me take my label off. Oh, there we go. That went in there. So let's have a look. Now, I've got to be careful opening this. I think I used the scissors last time. So I have a little extra treat. I can get in. Hey! Oh, I like that. Look at that. The sparkly. That's lovely. It's like a snowflake, but it's like a crystal. I hope you can sort of see. Can you see the glitter in that? Well, not glitter. It's sort of a shine. It's an aurora borealis, do they call it? That is really nice. Now, I'm looking at these. I mean, you know, I have had various stitch markers from various places, and I have made a few as well over the year. But to me, this is handmade. So I don't know whether you're watching, but are they handmade? I think they are, because I can see how beautifully this is turned here. So they look handmade to me, which is gorgeous. That is really, really nice. So that, I'm trying to think whether I need a stitch marker for this project. I will keep it to one side like I have the other one, and then if I need it, it will be used for these projects as well. So I'll just lay it there for now. And let's get into the yarn. I love getting into yarn. Oh, so pretty. So sparkly. So delicate. Look at that. We have sort of like delicate sort of pastels, but it's also sort of wintry feel as well. Now I do have a little star to make. I'm wondering whether I ought to do the star with this one. I think this would be really nice. In fact, I think we might do the star with this one. So as you know, I've got to go away and turn this into a little ball before I can do anything. And then I'm going to have my dinner because of the time of day it is. And then I'll come back to you, and I think we might be making a star. You'll have already found out from the thumbnail anyway what we're making, but I've still got to make up my mind. So I will see you in a couple of minutes or a few seconds on the video. Hi, so here we are. The wool is now beautifully wound up. I quite enjoy doing it. I find it quite therapeutic, to be honest. And we're going to get on with a little project, which is going to be some little stars. Now, we're actually going to do this one, but this is the one that I did first. And basically, you'll see how the combinations work. I've just left out one of the combinations. I'll explain that as I go. I did put out my pretty stitch marker because I just had to show it and I thought it fitted perfectly with what I'm doing. But I am not going to be using a stitch marker. So, right, we've got some shadow going off. I'm not sure about that. I'm just looking at the shadow, how it's working. I don't think it'll be a big problem. I'll move my scissors to one side. As I mentioned before, this is a 4-ply sock yarn. You could make these in any size. You just get larger ones. The hook I'm using is a 3mm crochet hook. I'm just wondering whether I can alter this lighting. Bear with me a second. Right, I've just altered the lighting a little bit, so hopefully it'll be a little bit clearer now. So as I was saying, 4-ply yarn, 3mm hook. Can be done on any yarn and a hook to match the size of that yarn. Just depends on how large you would like a little star. I've done it, classed it as. Now I thought it might look really nice, sort of hanging off a gift. I think that's sort of like nice thing, sort of with your gift tag and that at Christmas. It's just a little bit of an extra. Or you could make them in a nice glittery yarn or a metallic yarn and hang them on the tree and bunting, all sorts of things. That is the whole point of most of these videos. They're quick, they're simple, something you can decorate up with or something you can use as a gift. So we're going to get going. Now I need my yarn bowl, which is here, which is now filling up with some lovely yarn, and I'm going to pop it in there so the ball doesn't roll away. So we're going to start with our slip knot. Again, really quick to do this is. So onto the hook, and we're going to start with 6 chain. Remember, I am using UK terms though, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and I'm going to join into that very first chain with a slip stitch. So in we go, keep that bit out of the way and slip stitch. Now I'm just going to tighten that bit up because I don't want to be tempted to go into that hole, so make sure you know where the hole is. I know that sounds obvious, but it's sometimes very easy to go in the wrong part. And we're going to start with 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Now that 3 chain is my first treble. We're going to do 2 more trebles going straight into that ring. So yarn round, and we're going to do 1, and we're going to do 2. So that's my first little set of 3 trebles, because that is sort of what this is, little sets of 3. We're going to do 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. So that's my set 1 done. I'm now going to do set 2, which is 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3. Then I'm going to do 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Set number 2. Set number 3 coming up. So we have 1 treble, 2 trebles and 3. 3 chain, 1, 2 and or not. And oh, it doesn't want to stay on the hook. Where are we going? And 3. That's okay. So that's our third set. We need a couple more to that though. So here we go. 3 trebles, 1, 2 and 3. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. I'm just going to pause there a second, because can you see how we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections? You can actually see them. That's very much like a granny square, isn't it, that? But we need more than that. So we're now going to do our 5th one. So it's 3 trebles, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Now just to comment, if you were wanting to do the 5 point, this is where you would now do a slip stitch join. I'm going to do the 6, so I want to actually do another set. So depending on how many sets you have here will depend on how many points you've got basically. So here we go, 3 trebles. We have 1, 2 and 3. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. We'll double check what we've got. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now I'm going to now do a slip stitch into the top of that very first 3 chain. That's a loose bit. I don't want that. I like to get it so it's sort of nice and tight, so it's got 2 pieces of yarn there. So that's our slip stitch. So that is round 1 of our star. Now I'm just double checking what I've written. Now on the next round, in every treble, so the top of each treble, you'll do 1 double crochet, but when we get to these 3 chains, we'll do something different. So I'm going to start the round with 1 chain, and I'm going to go directly below it and do a double crochet. So that's my first double crochet. Now it's hard to fit them in like this. This is why I've done the chain. After this first bit, it's not so bad. So I'm going to do another double crochet there, and I'm going to slip one into there. So even though it shouldn't really be there, but it was really hard to see where we were supposed to go because you started with a chain. Don't over worry about it. The thing is with crochet, you should relax, you should enjoy it. If there's a stitch out, add another one in. You know, most of the time, unless it's garments, you can get away with that and nobody will know. Right, so I'm now classing as working into the chain space. So I'm going to do 1 double crochet, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 1 double crochet. Okay, now this is where, as I say, you have to watch. You need to sort of pull that to one side, because for the treble, do with a needle to show you, I'll just take my hook out, see if that helps. With the trebles, you can see them 1, 2 and 3. Now you can see that hole easy, you can see that one, but this one is here, and it sometimes gets tucked under what you've previously done, so you miss it. So with that is where my first one's going to go, so you do need to keep an eye out for that. Otherwise you'll only end up with 2 on the top. That's where I think I went wrong on that first bit, but when it's 3 chain, it sometimes does throw you out. So here we go. So we've got 1, 2 and 3, because you need a double crochet on the top of each of those 3. Into the chain space, we do a double crochet, or we don't, because it drops off the hook. My hands are a bit cold. I'm sort of like not dithering, but it's I haven't quite got the grip when my hands get cold, because they get a little bit achy. So 1 double crochet, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and 1 double crochet also back into that 3 chain. So I'm just going to pull that over so I can make sure I see that first one, which is there. It gives us 3 double crochets, 1 in the top of each treble. So that's 1, 2 and 3. We've now got a corner, I'm going to call it, which is where the chains are. And remember, that's 1 double crochet, 4 chain, 1 double crochet. So now we need a 1 double crochet on the top of each of the 3 trebles. So we need 3 double crochets there. We have a chain, so double crochet, 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and double crochet back into the 3 chain. We need a 1 double crochet on the top of each of these trebles, so there's 3 of them. We have our chain, so remember, 1 double crochet, 1, 2, 3 and 4 chain, and 1 double crochet into the same space. Top of the trebles, 1 double crochet each, so we need 3 there. And we have our last corner, like I say, I'm calling it a corner for want of a better term, chain space. So we do 1 double crochet, 1, 2, 3 and 4 chain, and back in, and we are actually back to the beginning. So I'm just going to do a slip stitch into there. Okay, now again the rule is going to be the same. In the top of each double crochet this time, it's going to be another double crochet, but into these corners you're going to have a little combination of one double crochet, 1 treble, a 3 chain picot, which if you're not sure I'll show you, and then 1 treble and 1 DC. There's an awful lot in there, but it creates this point then, which is what we're wanting. I mean, you can leave it like that. It makes a little, almost like a little pretty snowflake, but I have sort of counted it as a star. So wherever there's a double crochet, you're going to do another double crochet, because there's more now. Because remember, you know, because you added 1 either side there, it adds me more there. So let's have a look. So we have 1, 2, 3, and also the one that's in that chain space, 4. Okay, there will actually be 5 on each one after this one. Into this we have a double crochet, we have a treble. Remember to wrap that yarn for our treble. A 3 chain picot is 1, 2 and 3 chain, as it says, and some patterns will tell you to go into the bottom, the first of those 3 chain, which will give you a slightly different sort of lump. That's not a very technical term, but you know what I mean. But I like to go into the top of that last stitch, and I feel it just makes it a little bit smoother. Says me as I can't get it in there. Go on, in you go. Right, and I'm going to do a slip stitch. All right, back into this space, a treble and a double crochet. So that is complete what you do in that corner. I will explain it again when we get to the next one if you're not sure. So here we go, double crochet, 1, 2, 3, we should have 5, 4 and 5, because remember now it's created another one that was in that 3 chain space. Into our chain space we have a double crochet, we have a treble, we have a treble picot, so well, a 3 chain picot even, 1, 2 and 3, and I just go into the top of the treble. You can go into that first one if that's how you're used to doing it. So a slip stitch, 1 double crochet, no, I'm fibbing, 1 treble even, then 1 double crochet. I've got double crochets coming out my ears, so you can see how it points out. Okay, so 1 double crochet into each double crochet. It's coming out really nice actually in this yarn. I think it's perfect yarn to sort of do a star, because it's sort of like a wintry colour, and also the glitter in it is lovely. Right, so 1 more, don't miss one. Right, into here we have a double crochet. I'll say it right this time. We have a treble, we have 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to double back into the top of that treble with a slip stitch. We're going to do a treble and we're going to do a double crochet. It's slipping off my fingers, and I say it's only because my hands are cold rather than anything else. Right, next bit, just double crochet in top of each double crochet. So we have 1, 2, oh not 2, 3, 4 and 5. Right, into the chain space, 1 double crochet, 1 treble, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, double back into the top of that treble or into the first of the 3, slip stitch, treble back in the stitch and a double crochet, and then double crochet in each of those double crochets. It sounds awfully confusing, doesn't it, when you say it like that? It's sort of the only way of explaining it really. 1 more. We have actually got 2 more corners to go, haven't we? So into the corner piece, I'm going to have a double crochet, I'm going to have a treble, I'm going to have 3 chain, and I'm going to slip stitch back into that one. And there we go. I'm going to have a treble, and I'm going to have a double crochet. And then 1 double crochet in each of the ones at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and our very last corner piece, told you it was quick, we're going to have a double crochet, we're going to have a treble, we're going to have 3 chain, we're going to picot it by going into either the top of the treble or the first of the 3, slip stitch, treble and double crochet. And we are actually back round to the beginning, so I'm just going to do a slip stitch in there, and I'm going to fasten that off. Oh, if I can. There we go. And pull that through. Now, this is also showing you how different yarns work different ways, because this isn't the same company as this. This is a different one. These were like my trial ones to see whether it worked. I can't 100% say who they were from. I'm not sure, but I've got so many little mini skeins, so I'm just going to pull that middle bit tight. Be careful when you're doing that in case it breaks, and if it breaks then you've got a mess. So I need to now sew that in. I need to sew that in, and we'll see. You may need to stretch it out a little bit. It's up to you if you block your work. Sometimes it's needed, sometimes it's not. As you can see in this case, I think if you're making lots of them, I would recommend you do actually block them, or just, I don't know, pin them on your ironing board sort of when they're slightly damp and just leave them, because that does happen sometimes. It does curl up, but look how it's come out quite a lot larger actually, hasn't it? But that again, purely comes down to yarn, purely comes down to tension sometimes. I find if I've made something first time, it's quite tight, and then I make a second one and it comes out larger. There is a yarn difference. There's too much of a difference there for it to be that. But I actually like this size. I think that's more of a star than this one, to be honest. But I think they're all pretty. Absolutely love how this yarn has come out. So I'm hoping you're all going to make some of these. I think, again, definitely gift tags. I think they look really nice hanging off a present, or again on the tree, sort of get them nice and flat. You could starch them as well. I know there's different ways of doing that. I recommend you do research it on other sites. It's not really something I do. I know I have done the sort of sugar sort of starch thing, but which does work quite well. It takes a bit of time to dry, or obviously you can buy starchers, can't you? So there's different things you can do there. So that is basically it. That is number 4 for our gorgeous yarn, and hopefully I'm going to get number 5 ready for tomorrow. I've got it wound up at least now, so it is prepared. I've just got to decide what I'm doing. I had thought about doing one thing. I can't remember whether I showed it on this one or on the last one, but I got this little mouse and I was wanting to do her so she was holding some crochet, or maybe do her a little scarf or something like that, because I've seen them with knitting, but I haven't seen them with a crochet hook and a piece of crochet, a little granny square perhaps, because obviously I don't want a knitting one on the tree, because I don't knit, and I wanted one on the tree, so I bought a very plain one, and I'm going to add some details onto her. So that is it. That's the end of this one today. Hope you enjoyed it. See you all very soon with the next one, and bye bye for now.